We have learned how to assign single and multiple values to variables, concatenate strings, and deal with quote marks as part of variable values. But so far we've simply hard-coded the values of variables into our scripts. We need a way of gathering input from the user and passing that data to the PHP server through the browser for processing, so that something useful can be done with it, for example performing a search, or in the case of the Favourite Movies project, seeing the data related to a particular moviegoer. To do these things, we have to gather data from one place, typically the end user at the other end of the internet connection, and pass it to another, usually another web page and the PHP server for processing. There are two ways of passing variables from one page to another in PHP. In one way, the variable name and value appear in the URL, in the address bar of the browser, and in the other way, they do not. Navigate to a website like Amazon or Google, just about any website with a search facility, and type something into the search box and press return. If you look at the URL, you will see that somewhere in it, your keywords appear. The variable value is being passed in the URL. To pass a variable in the URL in this way, we append to the end of the address a question mark, followed by the variable name, equals, and then its value. We do not use a $sign or quotation marks here. Then that variable has to be gathered by the page which receives it. This is done with the PHP superglobal $_get in capital letters, using this syntax. $_get, and then square brackets, enclosing single quotes, and then the name of the variable. Don't forget the semicolon. And then we can assign the value of that to any variable name in the usual way. Ordinary variables we can name ourselves. We can give them any name we want with some restrictions, and assign any value we want to them. Superglobals like this are predefined in the system. The sole job which $_get does is to grab from the URL the value of the variable which matches this name, and the name of the variable to look for must be inside square brackets and enclosed within single quotes. Notice that the variable name has no $sign in the get statement, but in assigning this value to a variable of our choice, we do need a $sign, because this is just an ordinary variable assignment, just like we did earlier. The variable name that we assign often matches the name of the variable set in the URL for convenience and clarity, but it doesn't have to. Any name can be assigned here. Now we'll put this into practice in a very simple script. In the PHP demos folder, create a new PHP file and name it get.php. We'll use the variable name $user_id with an underscore in it. So inside PHP tags, type in $user_id equals $_get, and then inside square brackets, enclosing single quotes, user_id. And don't forget the semicolon. And then below that we'll have an echo statement, very simple. Echo the user ID you have chosen is, and then $user_id, the variable name. End the quotes and semicolon. Now open up get.php in your browser and add $user ID equals 12 to the URL. The script will gather this and print it out to the browser window. Try changing the variable to something else, and this too will be echoed out. Not very exciting, but a very important piece of web technology. Now we need to see how to gather this from the user in a more normal way than just typing it in. Create a new simple HTML file in the PHP demos folder and name it send.html. We'll use this to send a link with a value for the variable user ID. Type in an anchor tag and an href link. So opening angle brackets A, href equals get.php, the receiving file, question mark, user ID equals 1 or 10, whatever you want. End the link, close off the double quotes, close off the tag, and then put the same user ID in as the link text, user ID 1 or 100 or whatever, and close off the anchor tag, the closing A tag. Now open up that page in the browser, click on the link, and the receiving page will receive the variable value from the server and output it to the screen. The GET method of sending variables is used when we want to generate a URL which we can bookmark with a particular variable in it. So it's used for search results, things like that. It's not suitable for sending data which is sensitive, such as usernames or passwords, because obviously you can see the information is publicly available in the URL. In the next video, we'll learn the other way of sending variable values from one page to another in a way which does not involve them appearing in the URL.